CheckDown, week number 8. Me and Coach were just talking just before the start of the show, and his Wi-Fi was perfect. Now he's all pixelated. That's the way it works, Coach, around here.
Yeah, I might have one too many devices plugged in, I guess.
You know what? One day you'll go to Wi-Fi instead of that dial-up stuff. Man, or Mount Juliet. That fiber optic or whatever. Coach,
AOL is hard to come by.
Yeah, we're jumping on a little bit early. We're supposed to schedule 9:15, but we want to talk just a little bit because we got a very special guest, very cool guest. Ed Lamb, Northern Colorado's head coach, is going to be joining us in just a few minutes, and I wanted to get a chance to talk to you real quickly. Say hello and talk about the week. Your week so far. We also have a couple things we want to talk about, including some top performers from week number 7 before we jump in and talk to Coach Lamb. But when he dials in, we'll go right into the interview because he has a small amount of time. But hey, welcome to the FCS CheckDown, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Nathan McCreary, Coach Ron Jackson. Brandon Joseph, again, on assignment, can't be with us tonight, but that's all right. He's doing daddy duty, and that's just fine. We have Coach Ed Lamb coming up, the Northern Colorado Bears coach, picked up a big win against Idaho. We'll talk to him about that, about the team, the turnaround. Coach, he was 1-22 after 2 seasons at Northern Colorado, and they gave him a 2-year extension. That's a fascinating story. Obviously, he's turning the things around. They saw something special in him. We got some stats that pop. There we go. And conference rundown, we're going to look at helmet stickers. We're going to do a new segment called Helmet Stickers for the week previous, the top performance from the week previous, and then get into that. But first, Coach, how the heck are you?
Man, I can't complain. I'm fine as frog hair, split 4 ways. Good Lord seemed to wake me up this morning. So, yeah. Man, I can't complain. It's we've had good weather here, and looking forward to some good football this weekend. I'm hoping to head out to Florence, Alabama here, probably Saturday morning. I'm hoping to hopefully get there maybe in time to eat a little bit of lunch, maybe catch up with a few people. I'm hoping to maybe catch up with Brandon Haddock if that's possible. Then get over to Braley Stadium, watch a good football game, and then probably gonna drive back Sunday morning.
Hey, how far away is Florence from you, Coach?
About 2.5 hours.
Okay. It's
not a bad.
Yeah, it's 4 hours from actually 4 hours and 30 minutes from Ackworth. So I thought about coming out there, and I'm still kind of toying with the idea with Sweet Elizabeth. But that's a quick turnaround to go there and then come back. So especially after watching a football game. New Age Retro Maj is in the house. Good evening, New Age. Appreciate you joining us.
Hey, he was right on time talking about North Dakota too.
Yes, he was.
He mentioned a couple of weeks ago or a week or so ago that he thought North Dakota was back and looking good, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah, he sure is. We'll talk about one of those games, but first, we are really excited to talk to the head coach of Northern Colorado. I see Brooke, the SID. I'll just put her in. Brooke, I won't put you on camera just yet. We'll wait till Coach gets there. She's got a nice, sweet grin on her face. We'll talk until Coach gets here. But, all right, Coach, New Age Maj had it exactly right, and North Dakota is playing good football. And, listen, the MVFC is legit. And, I mean, anyone in that conference – uphill battle. Hey, now you got Northern Colorado playing such good football. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, the top 10 came out earlier today, and literally, it's the top 10 is about who we thought it was anyway. But I believe there's some spoiling. There's going to be some spoiling going on out there this year.
Coach, let's do a quick conference rundown while we wait for Coach Lamb. 11 teams of playoff vision, right? Playoff vision. 11 teams get the automatic qualifier right now, and I'm gonna throw these out there and let you comment. Big Sky, Montana, I think, is the front runner for the championship. They have a huge game against Montana State November 22nd. Your thoughts about Big Sky and its playoff picture?
Yeah, I like Montana. I like Montana State too. They're going to have they'll have their share teams. They'll probably get four or five teams in. But yeah, I think Montana is the class of that group right now.
And I think their schedule's more favorable. So we'll see what happens. All right, Big South OVC Association, Tennessee Tech is, I think, the leading that bid for the automatic qualifier. They play Lindenwood this weekend. We'll talk about that game. And then Gardner-Webb on November 1st. That's two matchups that are very, very critical. And, Coach, I was looking at the strength of schedule. Do you know Tennessee Tech is one of the lowest strength of schedules in the FCS? So is it smoke and mirrors for the Golden Eagles? I'm wondering.
Well, they're going to find out a little bit. Lindenwood's got a decent team.
Yes, they do.
And
eligible for the playoffs for the first time. How motivating is that?
Yeah. They'll see whether they smoke and mirrors or not during that ball game. But and I hate to pile on, but I kind of put them in the same category that I put Tarleton in. Literally, they're good teams and they got good records, but their strength of schedule is just not quite, not quite like what I'd like to see. But you got to play who's on your.
That's right.
You got to play who's on your schedule, and you can only win the games that you can.
Yeah.
I don't know that it prepares them for the playoffs.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Brandon Haddock joining us online. Brandon, happy to have you. Looking forward to hearing your comments as the show goes on. Chris Mastrangelo also joining us. Hey, let me tell you, Chris, 4-1 in the conference. That was a huge pick for them. And
I noticed Chris is waiting for me to pick. He's normally just picking whatever I pick.
Well, obviously. Hey, by the way, we got a special guest this week picking. It's the folks from FCS Untapped have sent me their picks. So that's if you haven't checked out at FCS Untapped, they do great content, lots of social media stuff. Listen, very excited to have a little collaboration with them, but I'm more excited, no offense, FCS Untapped, I'm more excited to be welcoming Coach Ed Lamb to the program, head coach at Northern Colorado. Coach Lamb, what a joy it is to have you on the show. Thank you for taking the time. Thanks, Brooke, for setting this thing up real quick. I know your time is limited. Just how the heck are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on the show. We're, as you can imagine, there was an exciting win last week for our guys. Don't want to take anything away from that, but we've really, largely moved on by this point in the week too. And that's the key for us.
And I'm not going to spend too much time on it, Coach, but I thought that 11-play drive, 75-yard touchdown set the tone. You never trailed in that one. 52-yard field goal by your field goal kicker. We'll talk about him. Forced 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, a fumble, 5 touchdowns, 5 of 6 in the red zone with touchdowns. And then you had the Big South Player of the Week, Cam Chapa. Just if you want to recap just how proud you were, what you said in the locker room after that win.
Sure. Yeah. You said it. We started out fast and were able to hold to that momentum. Idaho's a good football team. They got a lot of pride, and they really fought back there in the third quarter, made it a 10-point game. We stalled out on our first 2 drives of the second half and then started to build back on the lead. And so that's probably the thing I was most proud of is really that, we all talk as coaches about that middle 8 right now. That's a trendy thing. We didn't really own the middle 8, but we owned the first part of the game, and we closed it out in the last part of the game, and ended up getting into victory formation there deep in their territory. So, overall an outstanding day. It's a team that's hanging in there together. Been through a lot of hard times. We've had true freshmen playing probably before they should have the last couple of years. But it's right now, I think we're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Coach, coming into the season, obviously a tough season last year, tougher season the year before, but you got that 2-year extension. What makes Northern Colorado the right place for you right now?
It's really the challenge. I tell this story a lot, but I played at BYU. I coached there on 2 different occasions. And it's awesome. It's one of the things I'm most proud about is my association and times there. But But the reality is BYU was winning long before I was born. We won while I was there, and they'll be winning long after I'm dead. And, what we accomplished at Southern Utah in our time there, me and a lot of these coaches on my staff, that was life-changing. And that's what we're trying to do here, is to change a community, change a university, change the fortunes, and really change these kids' lives.
Yeah, and it's so great to talk about. And one of the reasons we're passionate about FCS football is, and just a quick background, I got to be around Brian Bohannon when he started the program at Kennesaw State. I was part of their broadcast crew for the time he was there. And you really get an inside look at how much these coaches care about the development of the players. It's not about money. It's about leadership. It's about character. And that seems to be coming through for your program and coming through in your message, Coach. Where did you get your passion for coaching?
I would say I always knew I wanted to be a coach of some type since I was really young. I started playing football relatively late, like my sophomore year in high school.
Wow.
But, I was into soccer and baseball and some of that. And just I had great coaches growing up, my dad being one of them. And, I wanted to be like them as men. And so I think I always kind of knew I'd be a coach. I didn't necessarily know the sport. And then I had one of the great examples and role models as a college football player in Lavelle Edwards, who I never heard coach any of our players. I still to this day, I had never heard him say any kind of a coaching point, but he was a leader of men, and he found a way to win. And that was a great example for me, because now that I've been in the coaching business for almost 30 years, I've had other great examples, Jim Harbaugh and Tom Cable and Mike Maynard, and guys that have done it in different ways, but very successful ways.
Now, are you related at all to Trey Lamb's side of the family, side of the country?
No, I no
That's
relation there. Now, to be fair, I might have some relations I don't know about. Like my grandma just says, when people say, "Where are we from?" she says, "We're from the hills." So I don't know how far back we trace our ancestry.
Because the Lamb coaching family on the East Coast is a huge family. Most people that know anything about high school and college football know the Lamb family. So I thought maybe in the straw somewhere that you may be related. But you're doing your own thing, and it sounds like you have a great story. Coach John Jackson's going to ask you a few questions, and we're going to really love on your program, spotlight it, highlight it, and talk about Sacramento State as we wrap up the interview.
Hey, Coach, it's a pleasure to talk to you and meet you. And really, I've only got a couple of questions. And I always ask the coach, every time we interview a coach, I always ask them to recruit me like they're one of their recruits. So at some point in time, I want you to tell me the secret sauce about getting your players up to Northern Colorado. But you've been successful everywhere that you've been. And right now, you're number one in your conference in turnover margin, and you got the fewest penalties in the Big Sky. How do you do that?
I think in our case right now, as far as like what you're talking about is playing clean. We're playing for each other. When you play relatively penalty free, there are some penalties that are effort penalties, as you well know. There are some turnovers, even when you're carrying the football correctly and making good decisions at quarterback, where a lot of them happen. You can do everything right sometimes and turn it over. But over the long haul, it really is about taking care of the football and realizing that football belongs to more than the guy carrying it. It's the team's football. And then on the other side, it's there's a lot of drill work, a lot of emphasis put on taking the football away. And if you're a defensive player in our program, you see guys carrying that ball high and tight and with two hands on it. And so when somebody's not carrying it that way, it's pretty obvious, and we try to go after it when we can. The penalties too, I think it's just selfless. And this team has been through a lot. Why did the question could come up? Why did my bosses give me a 2-year extension when I had won one game in 2 years? Well, from the moment I interviewed, I said, look, the decades of futility at UNC have happened because we haven't tied into the local recruiting. We haven't tied into the high school kid in Colorado. I believe it's an under-recruited state. And so when I set out to do that, in year one, and we signed all those high school kids from Colorado, and it wasn't very successful, I doubled down on it in year two, and we went high school again. Well, those kids have been playing now, and they've collectively taken a lot of lumps, but they've gotten better along the way, and they've stuck it out, and they're here with each other. And so we've got Colorado kids all over the field making plays. There's a regional cohesiveness, and I think that shows up in the way they play team football, which is, so far, knock on wood, the penalties and turnovers and takeaways have been in our favor.
Yeah, and a recipe for success, right? When you limit penalties and you're getting turnovers. Forced 7 fumbles, number 1 in the Big Sky, number 4th nationally. But more than that, Coach, your quarterback, Eric Gibson Jr., has been phenomenal. Number 4 in the Big Sky in completion percentage. He's thrown almost 1,500 yards. Talk about that young man.
Yeah, I'll tell you everything you need to know about Eric. He joined us. We had an incumbent starter, Peter Castelli, who's just had a terrible run with injuries, and he's only played in the last 2 years. We've only played with our quote unquote starting quarterback for 5 quarters. That's been Peter's lot on injuries. Well, after spring practice, Eric had joined us as the plan was to, compete for the starting job, as, of course, for every quarterback on the roster. But he understood that he was coming into an incumbent starter situation. At the end of spring practice, as you well know, almost every player comes into my office, and 99% of the time they have the same questions. How do I move up the depth chart? How do I earn a scholarship? How do I get to all conference or the NFL? Something along those lines. Eric came to me and said, how do I become a better 2? I thought that told me everything I need to know about his character. There's no lack of confidence there, but he showed great humility on that day and just respect for his teammates and coaches.
Well, he's got a player that he gets to throw the ball to, Carver Cheeks. We got a chance to talk about him all season long. He's consistently playing well. How about that young man? He's a Colorado kid as well.
Yeah, that's right. Our top 3 receivers are all Colorado kids, homegrown kids. And they've got, we've got Braden Monroe on the other side that's caught a lot of passes in his career here. And then our slot receiver, Dawson Menegatti, is a transfer, but Colorado kid, local kid, Fort Collins kid. So yeah, those guys, they protect each other. It's really hard to go and double team Carver or lean the safety his way, because the other receivers are pretty dangerous too. And Eric does a pretty good job of just getting the ball out on time and making it catchable.
Coach, you're a defensive guy, right? Played linebacker, defensive end there at BYU, and your defense is only allowing 21 points per game, 2nd in the Big Sky, 24th nationally. Third down conversions has been something that you guys have really stiffened on. What is your approach to third downs? Is that something maybe you focused on, and why is that an important statistic?
I would say this year we're doing a little bit better at creating more 3rd and longs. We haven't been fantastic against the run. We can get much better in that, but we have had some pretty good stuff rate and tackles for loss, which has set up longer yardage situations. And then we've got some guys in the secondary that can really play man-to-man coverage. We can play man, and that's the basis of our defense. We understand we can't sit in it all the time, but we're going to get a pretty good percentage of man coverage going on 3rd downs especially, and our guys have so far held up on the season with that.
Cam Chapa is the name that comes up consistently with your program, looking at defensive numbers, and I'm thinking, well, this defense is good, especially against the pass. Talk about the focus on that and that young man.
Yeah, Cam, another like Carver, another Colorado kid, homegrown kid. We recruited him as a freshman. Both those guys, Carver and Cam, been starting since they were true freshmen. Cam, I can tell you a story about Cam that'll tell you what you need to know about him. He runs our player meetings at night. It's right now it's 7:30 here local time, and I haven't checked on him because it's a player meeting. But most nights here, when I'm walking around the hallway, popping in and out of the offensive staff room late at night, if I happen to go over to the other side of the hallway where the player meeting rooms are, typically the defensive backs are in their meeting, and Cam's the one that's running the controller and telling everybody where they belong and who's running with this motion and who's not. He's just a tremendous leader for us. His approach on the daily is all about business.
Coach, another player who stood out to me was Ezra Ekuban. A little bit about that young man and what makes him a quality football player.
Yeah, again, another Colorado kid. Ezra was recruited by the previous staff, and he's a workout guy. Father played in the NFL. I think he understood from a young age. Probably one of these guys that had a dumbbell set and a barbell set in the garage. And when you look at him, you get that. He had some injuries last year that kind of popped him in and out of the lineup and didn't get the total numbers like I think he's got a chance to get this year. But another guy that's all business. And these guys are, with the futility of the last couple of years that they've lived through, they're battle scarred, man. They're battle worn, and they're not afraid to lose. And I think there's a strength in that when we finally have the confidence to break through that we can win, but the balance that we're not afraid to lose. we don't play real tight. This is a team that goes out there, plays loose, plays together, and plays to win.
One area, Coach, and I don't mean to bring it up to highlight it. I want to get your thoughts on it. Is on third down on offense. You're only converting at 35%. What do you need to do on third down, and what's something you guys have been working on to improve those numbers?
Yeah, we need to do a better job of creating, obviously, third and shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think we got to do a better job of our run game efficiency. That's one of the big breakthroughs last week with the output that we had on offense. The final score, the total score, had a lot to do with our run game efficiency. We've rushed the ball for more yards in games than we did last game, but our run game efficiency was fantastic. I think right around 5 yards a carry or something like that. And we want to keep that going. And that'll help, I think, set up the most manageable third downs and give us that run-pass balance that defenses have to account for.
Well, you did a great job punching it in the red zone, but you have a field goal kicker, Jacob Willig, who looks like he's got a big, nice, strong leg, kicked a 54-yard field goal. He's 10 for 13 on the season and 12 for 12 in PATs. It's nice not to have to worry about those guys when they go out there, huh?
It is, and he's one of the guys. He's a weightlifter.
Nice.
He's intense. He's a guy. He's gonna drink some caffeine before the game. Sometimes the kickers are just kind of guys in their own world. And the only thing I worry about that is, everybody misses. The greatest kickers in NFL history, they have a long low light film of misses, right? And so everybody's going to miss once in a while. And the way that the team reacts to them really tells you a lot about the kicker himself and what kind of guy they are. Are they willing to mix it up and get in the hitting drills and the tackling drills? And that's Jacob Willig. He's a football player's football player in every way.
Love to hear it. You got a great game, big game coming up in the Big Sky against Sacramento State. Brendan Marion obviously hired to bring in a high-powered offense. It's going to meet your pass defense. What's your thoughts going into that football game, and maybe give us a key or two that you want to see your team perform?
Well, I'm really excited about it. We haven't been in big games where people around the country are saying this is a big game, or the Big Sky naming us as the game of the week this week. That's a big deal for our players, and we're going to find out what kind of maturity we have. We've been talking about it all week. There's a reason why the rear view mirror is small and the windshield is big. Like we've got a gold brick up in our facility that commemorates the game last week. It's got the score and the date, and that was a huge win for us over a ranked opponent. But that's in the rearview mirror. We can glance at it once in a while, but it's all about Sacramento State. And I couldn't be more excited. It's a really quality team. They're the top of the country in tackles for loss, sacks, very aggressive on defense. As you said, on offense, they've got an identity. Really hard to tell who's going to be carrying the football for them on any given down. We've got to get our eyes right on defense and play really hard.
Coach, it is a big weekend, and you mentioned third year in the program, tough start. I always like to ask about mental health. We talk about mental health issues for players, but mental health issues for coaches. What do you do to protect your mental health? And is there a hobby or something that you do to kind of get away from football and take a break from everything? I know you have a beautiful family with 3 daughters. I have 2 daughters of my own, and, man, they're the best. Yeah,
the daughters take care of me, and, I don't – they're pretty low maintenance. We do have we've got a 15-year-old son at pretty severely handicapped, autism. Oh, wow. He doesn't have any language, not potty trained. A lot of challenges there. He loves to ride horses, and we're fortunate enough to have a few acres and some horses. I really like to do that. I have some other special needs kids that come over on Sundays, win or lose, and ride around the property. I like to garden. I like to golf as much as I can, but there's only so much time in the day, so my golf game struggles. But there are lessons to be learned.
Coach. Trust me, it's a stressor.
That's right. Yeah, I got some great friends that we spend time on that golf course, and that's I guess where the part I relax on the most is when I stop worrying about the score, about hole 3 or 4, when I realize I'm not going to set the course record that day either. Never have before, and probably never will.
Well, Coach, we're so excited about your football program, and I know wins help mental health. It was a huge win for you. We were super excited to cover the game and talk about it and highlight your program. We're super excited for you, happy for you, looking forward to this weekend's game. Thank you so much for taking the time for us. Best of luck against Sacramento State.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Really appreciate the time tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Hope to talk to you later in the season as you guys make the playoffs.
Very well.
All right,
Sounds
Coach.
Great.
That is Northern Colorado head coach Ed Lamb joining us here on the FCS Checkdown. Wow. I like that guy. Guy. He's a level-headed guy talking about, his football team. He knows exactly what's going on with them, and wow, fired up. Coaches just get me fired up.
One of the things that I like that he said is we went out and we recruited high school kids from our local area, and we doubled down the next year and did it again, and it's paying dividends. He's got a great locker room. They've got a great culture there. He's a great guy. What he said when he said he takes his son he's got a child that likes to horse ride, and he's got other special needs kids come over and what a blessing.
Life's bigger than football in that moment, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why he's been successful everywhere he's been. Yeah, and I would say that's why he got a 2-year extension after only winning one game after a couple of years.
And that's the thing, Coach. I mean, you look at that and go, I'm sure Northern Colorado fans are ready for a winner. And you go 1-22, and you go, get this guy out of here. No, keep that guy. He's building culture, and you can tell it in just how he talks. Super excited to have him on the show. Thank you, Brooke, for organizing that. It was a this morning kind of thing where I was like, hey, can you? And then she's like, hey, he'll be on at 7:13, and I'm like, well, we need him at 9:50. No Mountain Time. And I'm like, oh my God, time zones. I hate time zones anyway. Yeah. Okay. So we were kind of talking about before Coach Lamb joined us. We were talking about the playoff predictions before we get into our game previews. Fired up, man. I can feel it. I'm freaking fired up. Coach Lamb's got me. I'm looking forward to it. We'll preview that game. We'll talk more about it. But getting back into our previews. CAA, we were talking about Tennessee Tech. They're the favorite there. They've got Lindenwood and Gardner-Webb, both very difficult games. And the CAA, Monmouth, I think, has got a clear path to the victory there. They've got Stony Brook coming up. Their remaining opponents for Monmouth, Coach, average 21.5 points per game. That ain't enough.
I ain't gonna get it with them. So, now, I'll say this. Yeah. If they're averaging 21 points a game against Monmouth, they're going to score 28.
Maybe, but it's I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Stay healthy, and grind. And Monmouth's going to be your CAA champion, I believe, in your automatic qualifier. And the Ivy League, any question? Harvard is the only. I mean, no one's touching Harvard, right? Nobody's touching Harvard. Of course, the MEAC is their champion. Will go play in the Celebration Bowl. I don't see another team, Coach, that would be second that I would think may get a playoff position at large. North Carolina Central, I think, is probably your leading that way. You do have Delaware State and South Carolina State coming up. By the way, Coach, in 2024, South Carolina State beat North Carolina State 41-24. Or 24-21. Yeah. Any given Saturday. So North Carolina Central's got to be careful because Delaware State is on their heels. Congratulations to Deshaun Jackson and that program there. Thoughts on that real quick?
I mean, their champion's going to go to the Celebration Bowl, so it is what it is. And let me tell you, it's great for the HBCUs. It's great for television. It's going to be a game that it's going to be on ESPN or ESPN2. There's going to be a huge crowd. It's going to be a great game. Yeah. This might be the first year that Jackson State might actually be able to win that game.
Well, now that Deion's not there, it's anyway. Well, since you mentioned, I do have SWAC winning the SWAC. Jackson State.
Deion's going to send them 2 extra timeouts.
Hey, that's how many toes he's got on one foot, I think. Oh my God! Jackson State is going to win the SWAC. They've got Grambling. Grambling knocked off Jackson State last year, 41-20.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Eric Losey, who's the line coach at Grambling, doing a fantastic job there. But yeah,
they've got Grambling on the 25th of October, and then Bethune-Cookman. Don't sleep on Bethune-Cookman now. They'll freaking punch you in the nuts. You know what I'm saying? November 15th is that contest. So, some tough competition come up there in the MEAC and SWAC, but I think North Carolina Central and Jackson State's your favorites. In the MVFC, North Dakota State's going to run away with this one. They do have the Dakota Marker game on the 25th, and they play at North Dakota on November 8th. If there's a trip up, it's going to be one of those two games, but if Cole Payton's suited up, I don't see it happening.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, in our North Dakota State fan that we've got, the last time I believe North Dakota beat North Dakota State, they had a running back named Otis Weah. I want to say probably maybe four or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
It was in North Dakota as well.
Yeah. So you may have a repeat, but I'm kind of like you. I think North Dakota State's the class of the group, but I do expect for North Dakota to give them a game.
Yeah, it depends on defined game, because not many Illinois State and SIU couldn't put together a game against. Yeah. Although I'll tell you what, going back and watching the SIU, I was more impressed with how they handled that game. That was a closer game than maybe the final score resulted. Yeah. But NDSU and the MVFC, no one's arguing there. And the NEC, I think Duquesne's got the nod on that one. They do. Central Connecticut's right there on their heels, and they play November 15th. Circle your calendar. Circle the date on that one. Patriot League, Lehigh. They are Lafayette's right on their heels. They play also November 22nd. That could be chaos weekend if some of these teams lose. Lehigh.
You said Lehigh and who?
Lafayette.
Oh, yeah. See, south of the Mason-Dixon line, we call that Lafayette.
Oh, well.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now, though. I got you.
Do you call it the Lafayette Leopards?
And it's Lehigh.
Yeah, exactly. Lehigh. Oh, we can't read that, Ray. Let me republish that. There we go. The Bisons were having a down year that year and still almost beat Montana in the semifinals. And New Age just did that to you right there, Coach. Yeah, that's right. And I think they lost. I think they ended up losing to South Dakota State that year, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not 100% certain. All right, so that's Patriot. Pioneer, Presbyterian, and Drake, I think, are the only two teams. I'm sorry, Dayton, Presbyterian and Dayton. Given the nod to Presbyterian right now, Dayton is a good football team. That is the October 25th. That's the same as the Dakota Marker weekend. That's going to be a big weekend. Those final 3 weekends are going to have some great matches. Presbyterian, Dayton, Coach, got thoughts?
I'm on. I think Presbyterian is a good team. I think they're a top 25 team. I kind of think Dayton's a good team too. I like the argument that the Patriot League, not the Patriot League, but the Pioneer League has a chance to get two teams into the playoffs. I don't think that they will. I wish that they would. But I like Presbyterian. I don't. I'll be excited to see them play against Drake, but I like the Blue Hose. From what I seen the other day, they're pretty good.
And iron sharpens iron, and that schedule they've played is brutal, and they've done a great job. They're undefeated. Southern Conference, Western Carolina, Coach. Listen, with Teron Dickens, I don't think anyone. He may be. I mean, he may be your Walter Payton Award winner. If Cole Payton can't keep up the pace he's got. Teron Dixon missed the first 3 games of the season. He may break all kind of records and still missing 3 games. So I have Western Carolina over Mercer, but I have a little asterisk if Teron Dickens stays healthy. They play on November 8th, Coach. Western Carolina, Mercer, SoCon, what you got?
If Coach Bell could get his defense to playing, I'd take Western Carolina. But I don't know. SoCon's kind of down. I'm gonna take Western Carolina mainly because Mercer always lays an egg.
In the Southland, Coach, before I tell you who I'm thinking, we got Stephen F. Austin, Lamar, and Southeastern Louisiana. Who are you thinking?
Oh, man, I think it's going to come down to Stephen F. Austin and Lamar. And quite honestly, I'm on go with Lamar. I think, I think Lamar.
The fish heads.
Yeah, I think they can pull the upset. Dude, listen, I hope they win. I hope they make it in the playoffs. I hope it's profitable enough for them that they can get another logo.
Okay, Okay. I actually have Stephen F. Austin. They play Lamar November 15th. They do not. Stephen F. Austin does not play Southeastern Louisiana. Lamar does.
Yeah.
So
well, and if Lamar can win that game, that kind of negates the SLU game.
Yeah.
To me, it does anyway. So yeah, I think the winner of the Stephen F. Austin Lamar game is going to get the automatic bid in the Southland Conference.
Coach, do you think Bama State has a chance to make the playoffs out of the SWAC?
Well, who would? I mean, your SWAC champion's going to go to the Celebration Bowl,
right? Jackson State, Alabama State, 1, 2 interchangeable. Okay, we're gonna do this. If Jackson State wins, it goes to the Celebration Bowl. Does Bama State have a chance? If Bama State wins, goes to the Celebration Bowl. Does Jackson State have a chance because they beat?
I wish that one of them would go to the playoffs and the second place team would play in the Celebration Bowl. That would be the best thing for me. But I don't know. I like them offensively. I don't like them defensively. And I don't think that the SWAC is not a two conference bid league to begin with. So yeah. I don't think so. Okay. I just don't.
Celebration Bowl is the postseason for the SWAC and the MEAC.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And the same thing happened a couple of years ago with Florida A&M.
Yeah.
Florida A&M was actually thinking about skipping the Celebration Bowl, and that was the contingent plan they was going to send the next team. But the $1 million payout is too much for those teams to walk away from.
Yeah. Well, that's right. By the way, a real tragedy happened in the Florida A&M game this past weekend. They had a police officer that was standing by on the sidelines. He gets hit by a player coming off the field, obviously. Knocked down. They pick him up. Hey, dust him off. He's good. He's a hardcore dude. And he passes away at home. They had internal injuries. So, listen, I've been on those sidelines. I've been on an NFL sideline. I've been on a college football sidelines. And those players get on top of you in a hurry. And if you're not paying attention, it can really be devastating. So thoughts and prayers to that officer's family. And that was a tough – I hate to hear that anytime you have someone injured like that. And then, just goes to show, man, these players, what they're doing out there, they've got to have armor on the way a police officer has armor on. Sometimes the hit is just too much. These guys are like rocket ships, coming in. So Brandon Haddock says Alabama A&M is pretty good too. Magic City Classic will be huge this year, no doubt about it. And I have that game circled on our watch list as well. And then the UAC's final, Tarleton State, I think, is the leading candidate there, Coach, obviously. They've got EKU on October 25th and Abilene Christian at EKU. And the Abilene Christian is November 1st. So huge weekends coming up for Tarleton State. Any thoughts on the UAC there?
Yeah, I think Tarleton's probably the top rated team. If they can go on the road and win at Eastern Kentucky, and if they can go on the road and win at Abilene Christian, they will deserve the ranking that they get. And again, that's on down the line, and if that happens, they'll get the respect from me that they deserve too. I think they're a top 10 team. I don't think they're number 3. I think they're more along 5, 6, somewhere in there. But I do think they're a top 10 team, and and I also think I guess to go along with that, I think the UAC probably gets 2, maybe even 3 teams into the playoffs.
I agree. There is spots, at-large spots for the picking.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to play. All right, Coach, we're going to do our second segment, which is our helmet stickers. Let me tell you, I looked at all those statistics that we talked about, and I came back to Eric Gibson Jr., what he did against Idaho. Eric Gibson Jr. is going to get my helmet sticker, and I had like a cool little ChatGPT create a image of me putting a sticker on a Northern Colorado helmet. But I was fat as shit. I couldn't use the picture, Coach. It gave me 3 chins. My hands looked like little sausages. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, so I had to we just had to talk about this one, Coach. I'm going with Northern Colorado's quarterback Eric Gibson Jr. What a job he did. His statistics were, where do I have these statistics here? I don't know what I did with them. Here they are. Nope, that's not them. I don't know what I did with them, Coach. But here they are.
Well, nonetheless, he did a good job.
Yeah. Nope, here they are. I threw him away. 350 yards, 2 touchdowns. He led Northern Colorado against a huge win against Idaho and a ranked opponent. Who you got?
You know, when I talked to you about it, I was going to go with the Alabama State quarterback, Bodie, however.
Yeah.
However
I've heard it both ways now. I don't know.
Yeah, like Brandon is encouraging me to give EKU a sticker. If I was, I would give it to the kid that took that 100-yard kickoff return back. But I finally had to settle on Lafayette's quarterback, Dean Denobly.
Yeah,
316 yards.
Yeah,
I said
you misspell it. Hey, just mispronounce everything, why don't you?
Right.
Dean Denobly.
Right. Yeah.
From
Lafayette. 316 yards, 5 touchdowns. What a game.
Legit.
What a game.
Yeah, Caden Pinnock also had 5 touchdowns for our helmet stickers. We'll try and create a cool little graphic. If any of you guys are out there, graphic artists, and want to throw something our way, we could do something like that. Whatever. But helmet stickers, I think we want to highlight those top performers. All right, we've done the playoff predictions, gone through the conferences. Let's go ahead and get to our game previews, Coach Jackson. The first one we're going to talk about is this one right here. It is Butler and the Dayton Flyers. This one is going to be in Dayton, Ohio. Last year, Dayton picked up the win 21-14 over Butler. They lead the series 13-7. Butler Bulldogs going to host the Flyers here. It's going to be Butler bringing 24 points per game, while Dayton leads the conference with 32.7 points, 0.2 points per game, rather. Offensively, Dayton boasts a total offense of 364.5 yards per game compared to Butler's 340.7 yards per game. The Bulldogs have a solid rushing game averaging 172.9 yards, led by Reagan Andrew, their quarterback, who's a dual threat. And then Dayton counters with a balanced attack, averaging 127 yards per game. Butler's passing game has struggled this year, but they got the run game. That's okay. Their completion percentage is around 63.59%, and Dayton excels in the passing game with 67%. Reagan Andrew, again, that quarterback there for Bulldogs. Watch for him to be on the ground and through the air. Bryce Schondelmeyer is the quarterback for Dayton. He'll be crucial for the Flyers. It'll be Trevor Andrews in his 3rd season for Dayton going up against Kevin Lynch for Butler. This one should be good. Butler and Dayton. Of course, Butler took a loss this past weekend. Now they've got to face the Dayton Flyers. We got a couple comments here. Steve Hotchkiss going with Dayton. Brandon Haddock going with Dayton. Chris Mastrangelo going with Butler. Coach Jackson.
First of all, is the Masari kid, the wide receiver for Dayton, is he playing in the right age group? He looks a little mature for
he looks a little something there.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Listen, Dayton's got a good team. They're at home. They should win the ball game. I'm going with the Flyers.
All right. I am not. I'm going to go with Dayton on this one. I just think that Dayton is going to be. I think Butler was worn down last week, so I'm going to go with Dayton. You got Butler?
No, I got Dayton.
I mean, you got Dayton?
Yeah. I think it's Dayton across the board.
Yeah, Dayton across the board. All right. Cool. All right, up next, Butler. Okay, Mastrangelo is the only one who's got. What scares me now, because that dude can freaking pick them, man. Up next, we got Stony Brook and Monmouth. It's at Kessler Stadium there in West Long Branch, New Jersey. Remember the picture of that pizza, Coach? Monmouth picked up the win last year, 55-46 at Stony Brook a season ago. Monmouth leads the series 8-4. They've won the last 3. Monmouth boasts that dynamic passing game led by Derek Robertson, who's thrown for 2,300 yards and 25 touchdowns, whereas Chris Zealous, the quarterback for Stony Brook, has just 1,200 passing yards, 7 touchdowns. This could be a high-scoring affair. Defenses need to show up in this one, Coach. Stony Brook, much improved. By the way, remember, Coach Kosh for Stony Brook was named the AFCA FCS Coach of the Year for what he did last year. Could he possibly pull something over on Monmouth? It's going to be a good one, Coach Jackson. Stony Brook and Monmouth. Not a lot of people had this one on the radar to start the season. It's on ours this week.
I hope as many people get to New Jersey to watch that ball game because they're going to watch Monmouth put up 50 at least. They're going to watch Monmouth give up 28-35 or something, somewhere in there. But I don't, they'll score 50. It's not going to be that close. Give me the Hawks.
Yeah, me too. I'm going with Monmouth as well on this one. Yeah, I'm going to go with Monmouth. Sorry, I have to take notes or I have to go back and watch it. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't pick Monmouth in this one, but we got to hype it up, Coach. I mean, come on. This is a little bit of this week was a little bit shady. Sean Anderson for the Hack City folks posted like, yeah, this FCS schedule this weekend's a little bit iffy, but we're going to pick these games, and I think this is another good one right here. ETSU traveling to Chattanooga and Finley Stadium. It is Chattanooga picked up the win last year, 17-10. They lead the series 8-4. They've won the last 5 games against the Buccaneers. ETSU offense, 2,800 yards on the total offense, 1,288 yards. They average 184 yards per game rushing, 219 yards per game passing. As far as Chattanooga, they average 200 yards on the ground, 150 yards through the air. Defensively, ETSU's allowing 31 points per game, has registered 14 sacks, 93 yards in losses in those 14 sacks. That's good. You got to put pressure on those quarterbacks. Chattanooga's allowed 30.7 points per game and has 5 sacks on the season. Buccaneers' ability to pressure the quarterback has been exceptional. Will Healy in his first season at ETSU going up against the veteran Rusty Wright. And this one, I'll start here, Coach Jackson. ETSU got a chance to watch them play in person against West Georgia. They put up a good fight. Chattanooga is down, but I'm going to go with the home team, Chattanooga, on this one. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, I hated to see this one on the list of pick'ems, but Chattanooga's down and turning the ball over at a record pace right now. Will Healy's got a little juice going on at East Tennessee State. I know it's on the road. Honestly, Chattanooga does not really get a home field advantage at Finley Stadium. Stadium is way away from campus, so there's very few students that end up showing up. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. Give me East Tennessee State I'm going to make as a road dog.
Oh, damn, you threw a curveball on me. Everyone in the chat's got Chattanooga, so they're with me. Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Hey, and you know what? The kid I coach, Devin Lively, he's gonna be mad that I picked against him. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers.
Hey, you gotta go. The picks gotta pick. You know what I'm saying? The picks got to pick. Yeah. And luckily for Chris Mastroglo, the Monmouth's doing well. Otherwise, he'd be picking. He would pick Stony Brook. Yeah, right. All right. South Dakota and UNI is up next. Cedar Falls, Iowa. South Dakota picked up a dominating win in 2024, 42-17. But it's UNI who leads the series, 28-19. Let's see. The South Dakota Coyotes, 4-3 overall. Balanced offense, 372 yards per game with standout performance running back L.J. Phillips, who boasts over 1,000 yards rushing already, 11 touchdowns. Their passing game is led by Aiden Bauman, who has been efficient, 56% pass completion, over 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns. But he struggled this year. UNI, they're going to bring their 2-4 record, but 13 points per game. Yuck. 311 yards per game, last in the MVFC. FYI, just over 100 yards rushing per game. Matthew Shackleman has 7 touchdowns, but 6 interceptions, averaging 194 yards per game. UNI's rushing attack just averaging 3.4 yards per carry. I know I'm telling you that it's going to be all Coyotes, who's number 22 in the country against UNI, but this Panther UNI Dome is extremely difficult place to play. And I got questions about South Dakota, Coach Jackson. I got big-time questions about South Dakota and how they've been playing this season, and Aiden Bauman, and can the Panthers really cause havoc and create a low-scoring defensive matchup? What you got here?
Listen, I know it's I know it's at UNI. Mm-hmm. I know the dome will be packed. Gonna have a lot of craziness going on. I still think South Dakota is a little bit better on the roster. They got some things to get squared away between now and the playoffs. I think this is a get right game for South Dakota. So I think they beat them by 2 touchdowns.
2 first-year coaches, Todd Stepsis, UNI, Travis Johansson at South Dakota. It's been 6 seasons on that staff, though, as the South Dakota defensive coordinator and assistant head coach. He knows what's going on. He knows all about the UNI Dome. Yeah, South Dakota's going to win this football game.
Yeah.
South Dakota's gonna win this football game. Let's get to our chat. Steve Hotchkiss says, yeah, South Dakota. Monstrangelo says South Dakota. And, oh, boy. Trap game. Brandon Haddock, UNI. There you go. All right.
Brandon's getting sauce already today. That's all right.
I'm telling you. You know what? This is the reason I put this on here. I've seen teams go into the UNI Dome, and that's a tough place to play. Now, the record might not draw the fans out, but it's a good football team coming in, and that always helps. Okay, that's what we got for South Dakota and UNI. Up next, we're going to talk, let's see, here we go. We're going to talk the Tennessee Tech and Lindenwood matchup. Brandon Haddock likes underdogs. All right, well, here we go. Who's going to be your underdog here? Number 8 team in the country is Tennessee Tech. They're going to be at Hunter Stadium in St. Charles, Missouri. Lindenwood got absolutely thumped last year, 52-10 by Tennessee Tech. The Golden Eagles that lead the series just 2-1. Coach, we know what this Tennessee Tech team is. 51.7 points per game, number 1 in the OVC, number 3 nationally, 500 yards of total offense, 39 touchdowns, 16 passing, 23 rushing. Rushing attack is formidable, 250 yards per game, while led by standout running back Quintel Quinn, who boasts 6 touchdowns and a remarkable 8.3 yards per carry. Then you look at the Lions, 3-3, but they're 2-0. They're in the OVC Big South Alliance. The Lions are putting up 20 points per game while allowing 27 points. They struggled defensively a little bit, allowing 429 yards, 100 nationally. And they do have Nate Glantz, who's a quarterback. We got a chance to talk to him about him a little bit earlier in the season. 1,344 yards, 8 touchdowns. He knows how to manage the game. Tennessee Tech, Lindenwood, Coach Jackson, I'm feeling like this could be a trap game. This is a very good Lindenwood squad. Brandon Haddock likes underdogs, but he don't like this underdog. And he's going Tech. Steve Hotchkiss also has got Tennessee Tech. Chris Monstrangelo has Tennessee Tech as well. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you would pick. It's on the road. Tennessee Tech's schedule is weak. This is going to be a tougher game for them. They show Charleston Southern showed something last week against Tennessee Tech. Vesperis didn't have a great football game. They get right. Tennessee Tech in this one, Coach.
You know, I'm on try and paint it another way.
All right.
The winner of this, but I think there's more pressure on Tennessee Tech than there is on Lindenwood. The OVC is only going to get one bid. They're only going to get one team.
Agreed.
The winner of this game is probably going to win the league and going to be the automatic bid for the OVC.
Okay.
If Tennessee Tech loses this game, they're not in the playoffs. So I think they got a little more pressure than Lindenwood does. When you take pressure on the road like that, if things don't go well right off the rip, I mean, it could be. So that's how I think things are going to start. Now, I say this, I think Tennessee Tech comes back and wins. But
okay. I
think Lindenwood puts one hell of a scare into them and to their season. And I think it's probably going to take a pretty good halftime speech and maybe a turnover or something like that to go in their way. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Tennessee Tech, but I think it's gonna be awful close.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a game that Tennessee Tech probably knows. Conference. Lindenwood's a good football team. Forget the stupid logo, the Jay Leno lion with a big chin.
Oh yeah. That logo got beat 50 points last year. They'll be pissed off about that.
They're gonna be pissed off, and they're a good football team. Like I said, we've got a chance to talk about Nate Glanson, that quarterback. Look what a good quarterback did to Western Carolina, right?
Right.
All right. I mean, this was a 1-2 team or whatever it was, and Teron Dickens has come in and brought national attention now to them. So, broken all kind of records. Nate Glanson might not be breaking records. He's certainly not going to be doing it this weekend, but I think it's a good football program, and this is going to be a good one. I think you should check it out, watch it. St. Charles, Missouri, on ESPN+. Okay. Up next, we got the Skyhawks. UT Martin facing Gardner-Webb. This is in Bowling Springs, North Carolina. It was UT Martin with a 35-17 win a season ago. The series is tied at 1 apiece. The Bulldogs are scoring 29 points per game and allowing 34 points per game. That don't work. They do bring in a balanced attack on offense, 11 rushing touchdowns, 11 passing touchdowns, averaging 450 yards per game on offense. Gardner-Webb's ground game is potent with a rotation led by Quishon Holmes and Carson Greasock, while Nate Hampton's passing game, his group is Anthony Lowe and Chris Lofton. They do a good job there on offense. The result is multi-dimensional offense that can beat you through the ground, on the ground, and through the air. By the way, Nate Hampton also has 4 rushing touchdowns. Then you look at UT Martin, a disappointing season. They're a one-dimensional offense, pass-oriented. Jace Bauer is their quarterback. 134 passer rating, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, completing the ball 70%. He's got 1,200 yards passing. Add 4 rushing touchdowns for Bauer, who earned the OVC Big South Offensive Player of the Week for his performance against Western Illinois, which was a very tight game, 31-32, as UT Martin pulling out the win there. Receivers such as Bryce Bailey and Faison Wilson, Scotty Alexander help out Bauer, roughly 330 yards of total offense per game. The versatile group can stretch the field. Defensively, UT Martin's led by Jacob Stevenson with 43 tackles and Keyshawn Johnson, not that one, but 32 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks. This is going to be an interesting one, Coach. Gardner-Webb, we talked to Coach Reisert earlier in the season. UT Martin is down. Gardner-Webb is on its way up. Am I picking first here? I think this one is. I think this one's. Well, I'll go first. What the heck?
All right.
Gardner-Webb at home. UT Martin's having a down year. I'm going to go with the Skyhawks. That's who I got. UT Martin.
Well, I think it's going to be a strange game. It's strange that Jason Simpson is 2-1 in the conference, but 2-5. Overall, it's a strange trip from West Tennessee out to Bowling Springs, North Carolina.
Yeah,
it's strange that Bowling Springs, North Carolina, is a dry county. Don't ask me how I know that, but I do know that. And I think it's going to be a strange result. So I'm going to go with Gardner-Webb.
3-2, the final score. Gardner-Webb. Okay, so you and Steve Hotchkiss on the same page. Yeah, I just think Jason Sims is going to pull this thing together. And he's pulling tight on those strings, trying to get it to come together. He's going to get it to come together. So, but I don't like the pick.
Yeah.
I don't like it, not one stinking bit. All right. Well, up next, here's one. This is a good one. All right, we've got North Dakota facing ranked Southern Illinois. North Dakota ranked number 9. Southern Illinois ranked number 12. It's at Carbondale, Illinois. They didn't play in 2024. In fact, they last played in 2022. The series belongs to the Salukis 3-1. They've won the last 2. This should be a good matchup with the Fighting Hawks boasting one of the nation's premier rushing attacks, 209 yards per game, number 14 in the country, rather. 3rd in the conference. Sawyer Siddell and Gavin Zybarth combined for a tough backfield. Their physical offensive line, potent backfield, look to control the clock o'clock, wear down the Salukis. Jerry Kaminsky's their quarterback. He's a dual-threat guy, rushing 3 times for a touchdown, 17 touchdowns passing, by the way, which is number 1 in the MVFC and number 3 nationally, while North Dakota's defense is a brick wall, allowing just 17 points per game, holding opponents to just 96 yards rushing per game. That's number 6 in the nation, first in the MVFC. Expect them to put big pressure on Kaminsky with linebacker Lance Rucker, who leads the team in tackles for loss and sacks with 4, and Malachi McNeil, who leads the team in tackles and quarterback hurries. Coach Jackson, this should be a fun matchup between North Dakota and the Salukis. I'll let you start here. Give us what you got, Coach.
Well, it's in Carbondale, and this time of year, a lot of your home teams begin to take over. There's a good chance that I won't say there's a good chance. What are the chances are that North Dakota can lose this game and then turn around and beat North Dakota State here in a couple of weeks? You heard that here first, if that happens. With that said, I'm going to go with the Salukis. I think they got beat last week by North Dakota State. They look
good. DJ Williams.
Yeah.
Come on, man. By the way, their uniforms quietly. Their uniforms,
fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah,
fresh.
The Stormtrooper white ones are nice. But I'm going with the Salukis. I think they bounce back, and I think they're one of the top teams in that conference. So let me have the sock puppets.
It's the premier game of the weekend, probably North Dakota and Southern Illinois. Carbondale, Illinois is a tough place to play. North Dakota coming off a big win. Salukis coming off a big loss. They're going to be pissed. I just like this North Dakota team. I really think that they're coming up and they're not going to let this one get away. They know what's coming. So give me North Dakota on this one, Coach Jackson. I'm going to go North Dakota. You got Southern Illinois. All right. Up next, we've got, there we go. It's Youngstown State and Illinois State. The Redbirds are ranked number 10 in the country. This is going to be at Hancock Stadium in Normal, Illinois. It was Illinois State picking up the win last year, 23-16 over the Penguins. But look at this, Coach. The series is tied 16-16 with Youngstown State winning the last 3 of 4. Interesting. Redbirds enter the contest with momentum, fresh off the 46-32 victory over Murray State. The offense is a force, averaging 31 points per game, 394 total yards per game. Tommy Rittenhouse, we talk about him all year long, leading a balanced attack completed with running back Winkers Wright, one of the best stories in FCS football, in my opinion. He's got 7 touchdowns, and wide receiver Daniel Sobkowitz is also a threat. Illinois State's defense giving up 30 points per game. They'll need to come with their A game because Youngstown State, despite their record, they are a very, very tough team. The Penguins have a good rushing attack, 186 yards on the ground, 14 rushing touchdowns on the season already. Bo Brungard leads that offense. He is one do-everything kind of Swiss Army knife kind of guy. They hold a slight edge in offensive yards per game and points allowed. They're allowing 28.5 points per game compared to Illinois State's. Turnover margin belongs to Youngstown State. If they can force turnovers, Coach Jackson, this could be a different game. Doug Phillips is the head coach in his 6th season, and Brock Spack in his 26th season there at Illinois State. Coach Jackson, looking forward to this one. It's Youngstown State, the Penguins, and Illinois State. By the way, that word text is actually from their website. That's actually you think their Y was ugly, Coach? Did you see this Penguins up here? Look at this thing. It looks like a child glued it together. What the heck? Youngstown State, call us. We got some advice for you. All right, Coach, I'm gonna let you get here.
It's in Normal, Illinois. There ain't no way I'm picking against Coach Spack in Normal, Illinois. I think it's probably gonna be 24-14, 24-10, 24-17, somewhere in there. Probably not as close of a game as the score would indicate. And there's nothing like it. Let me tell you that Youngstown State's 0-2 in the Missouri Valley Conference. If they lose, it drives a stake into their playoff hopes, and Illinois State would love to do that. So let me have the Redbirds.
Hey, Brandon Haddock is spitting truth. If you go in double overtime with UNA, you're not good. So that's his take. Yeah, you know what? Really respect the Youngstown State fans. I really respect the program. On the road, Illinois State's going to pick up the win, in my opinion. I don't think it's I don't know that it's not going to be close. I think it's going to be a decent football game to check out. But, yeah, give me Illinois. I just don't Illinois State. Yeah, Illinois State. And that's just the way it's going to be. All right. Hey, Coach, how about the Vaqueros? What? UTRGV, the Vaqueros, facing Lamar. That's going to be at Provost Umphrey Stadium in Beaumont, Texas. They've never played before because UTRGV has never played anybody before. This is their first season. High-powered offense. They got 48.7 points per game, more than doubles Lamar's 23.8 points per game. The quarterback is Eddie Lee Marburger, 1,474 yards passing with 14 touchdowns, and running back TJ Dement has 435 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns. The defense has been dominant. Well, you got to face an FCS opponent that's pretty dang good. The Cardinals were going to counter with a defense that's got 11 sacks on the season and has forced 10 turnovers. Pete Rossimondo is going to have this team extremely fired up for this one as they struggled against East Texas A&M a little bit. Aiden McCown's their quarterback, 745 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and running back Xavier Coleman has got 209 yards on the ground, averaging 4.1 yards per carry. Pete Rossimondo in his 3rd season, Travis Bush in the inaugural season here for the Vaqueros. I'll go first and tell you that Lamar ain't losing this football game. Lamar's going to pick up a win over the Vaqueros, and I think you could put that in the bank.
I wish this was in the Valley, but you know what? I plan on making it to a Vaqueros game next year, and I think that's the one that I'm on try and go see the Lamar RGV game next year at the
stadium, at the Vaquero Stadium.
At the Vaquero Stadium. Here's my prediction. I think the Vaqueros are going to score 26 points. But I think Lamar's going to score about 75, though. I don't think it's going to be close. Welcome to the FCS. Welcome to the Southland.
I'm going to say that Lamar is going to pick up the win 31-10. That's something like that. I think this is a good defense. And by the way, I'd love to see East Texas A&M and Lamar highlights were on ESPN because there were some fantastic plays, including 2 scoop and scores for Lamar. One of them was on a kickoff where they tried to do the Buffalo Bills throwback, and they threw it right to the Lamar player, and he freaking ran it back for a touchdown.
I think it was some bad beats.
Bad Beats is exactly what it was on. Yep.
I think it was on Bad Beats.
Was exactly. And they were making fun of, by the way, Southland was funny. They were making fun of, you could see a service station in the background from East Texas A&M Stadium. And they were like, hey, you just go get a Frosty. Well, Southland put out a tweet that showed who had the closest service station to their stadium. And it wasn't East Texas A&M. It's a great tweet. Very, very funny. Good that they had a sense of humor about it, and it's great publicity for them. That's the way you do it as a conference, and have a sense of humor, and don't get your panties in a wad over some stuff.
Yeah, well, North Alabama would have them beat. There's a gas station literally right across the street. That's where I park.
Oh yeah, don't tell nobody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's free parking around the stadium anyway, but literally. That's exactly where I park. After the ball game, I'll go get me a Snicker bar, and I'm on my way.
Coach, are you a regular Snickers guy or almond Snickers guy?
I like the regular Snickers the best, but I love the almond one. The one that I don't like is that pecan one.
I didn't like the pecan one either. But I was a Mars bar kid. I was like the only kid that loved Mars bars, and they're gone. They don't have Mars bars anymore. It's basically the almond Snickers is a Mars bar. Yeah.
I was in my family. We got a bunch of boys. They're all older than me. I'm the oldest great grandchild, all that. So everybody's 10 years. So anyway, I like things that nobody else likes. So I like root beer. I like the Zero candy bar.
Now that root beer. First of all, who doesn't like root beer? But
none of my
candy bars.
Oh yeah,
Coach.
That way I had mine, and nobody ever asked me for anything.
So it was survival. It was a survival
yeah.
technique. My
Oh, yeah.
youngest daughter loves Zero bars. It's that
yeah.
thick dark. It's a white chocolate with a
Yeah.
thick nougat thing.
Yeah, that nougat in the middle is the truth.
All right, we've derailed. All right, let's get back to it. It's Brandon Haddock. It's pecan, not pecan. Pecan. Wait. It's pecan. Oh boy, I put up the wrong thing. It's pecan, not pecan.
Well, it depends.
I said pecan. What did you say?
It depends. It's pecan pie, but it's pecan candy.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's pecan or pecan.
Yeah. Yeah. It just depends on what you're eating. You eat pecan pie, though.
Steve Hotchkiss is talking about milkshake candy bats. I imagine that means candy bars. I hadn't had the milkshake candy bats, Steve. We'll have to try to check those things out. Hey, let's talk some football if you don't mind. It's Duquesne at Mercyhurst. Hey, Coach, this is an NEC battle. This is going to be a good one now. It's at Saxon Stadium in Erie, Pennsylvania, just in time for Halloween. Last year, Coach, 31-24 was the final score. It was the Dukes picking up the win. 7-2, they lead the series. Duquesne, high-powered offense, 32 points per game. Their attack is nice and balanced with 153 yards rushing, 202 yards passing per contest. Remember their quarterback coach, Tyler Riddell, former ETSU guy? Still got the great hair, by the way. He's been efficient, throwing for over 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns. They face this Mercyhurst defense, though, pretty good. They're on a win streak. Jeff Lavelle leads their team defensively with 44 total tackles. Their rush defense has accumulated 15 sacks. It's going to be a battle in the trenches. Duquesne's offensive line versus Mercyhurst defensive front. And Lakers, man, they don't put up a lot of points. They know this game is going to come down to defenses in the trenches. So, Duquesne, Mercyhurst. See if we're still talking about candy in here. Nope. We're talking about football, as it should be.
That's good.
Chris Monstrangelo says Duquesne, Hotchkiss has Mercyhurst, and Haddock has the Dukes. Coach, I've seen Duquesne play. I've actually watched them play this season. I really like what I see out of them. Mercyhurst has had some tough schedule. I like the iron sharpens iron kind of thing. But I like what I saw out of the Dukes. I wouldn't be shocked if Mercyhurst pulls off a win here, but give me the Dukes and the pick'em.
Dude, did you see the logo that you pulled for the Dukes right there? That is top notch.
Okay.
So I'm going with the Dukes myself. It's hard for me to pick a football team that's got Mercy anywhere in the name. So I don't know much about the teams. I know Riddell's got great hair. I know they're both 2-0 in the conference. I like Duquesne's or Duquesne, however you want to say that. I like their logo a little bit better, so I'm going with the Dukes.
Yeah, that's a good logo. And Brandon Autocorrect got him on the pecans and pecans.
Yeah.
Pecans.
Yeah.
Pecans.
Pecan pie, pecan candy.
All right. Whatever. All right, let's get back into this. Let me get that off there. All right, what we got up next is, here we go, UAC battle between West Georgia and Tarleton State. Tarleton, number 3 in the country. West Georgia picked up a loss, but they were ranked, just dropped out of the top 25. It's at Tarleton Memorial Stadium in Stephenville, Texas, where they line dance in the parking lot. Just ask Coach Jackson. This game last year, Tarleton State won 38-21. The series belongs to Tarleton. They won that game last year. That was it. They face off this weekend. West Georgia averages nearly 400 yards per game. Solid rushing game. Latrell Murrell, we've talked about him. He's got approaching 600 yards of offense on the ground, 5.4 yards per carry. The passing game spearheaded by Davin Widener, 904 yards, 9 touchdowns. Well, wait a second. Is Davin Widener going to play? No one knows, as Colton Fitzgerald is the backup. By the way, Davin Widener's dad was messaging us on YouTube about how the West Georgia would have won if Davin was playing. I think you're a little biased last week. But nonetheless, Trey Page the third is the running back for Tarleton State. this could be a problem. He's 673 yards rushing, 7.8 points average. Victor Gabalis is their quarterback. 966 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, but will likely turn it to Daniel Greek, who's their backup. He's been an excellent backup coach. He's done a phenomenal job. 66% of his passes been completed, 977 yards, 6 touchdowns. Gabalis might not have a job if he comes back. This is a big-time backup quarterback coming in. Defensively, 14 sacks and 11 interceptions, number 1 in the nation for Tarleton. Ty Rawls has 3 picks. Texans are formidable. Colton Fitzgerald, if he's a starter, he's a Georgia Southern transfer, by the way. He's only completing 45% of his passes, just 1 touchdowns. If this is a battle of backup quarterbacks, West Georgia does not have a shot in this one. Davin Widener's got to get on the field and for West Georgia to have a shot. So I'm going to go Tarleton all day long on this one, Coach. I don't see any reason not to. So what you got?
Yeah, Tarleton's a tough place to play. It'll be tough for West Georgia to get there, too. Once you fly into Dallas, it's about an hour ride outside of Dallas. But when you get to Tarleton, the first thing you're going to find out is there ain't nothing in Shepherdsville except for the school. And something must have happened a few years ago because everybody I met is named Tyler, even the girls and the boys. Yeah, they was helping me to my seat. I ran into 4 different people. They all named Tyler.
By the way, go ahead. I'll tell you in a second. No, go ahead. I'll tell you just a second. By the way, Steve Hodges, is Gabalis still out? You know what? I have not seen anything indicating that Gabalis is still out. I don't know. Coach, did you say he is playing?
I don't think so, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, it's a tough trip for West Georgia to get there, and then once they get there, they're going to be playing one of the most formidable opponents in the conference. So I look for Tarleton to roll. And listen, they're a little bit angry. They're not getting quite the respect that they think. I think that's trickled into the team a little bit. Mm-hmm. They're going to be looking to put up some. They're looking for a big win, and I think that does come Saturday.
Coach, Tarleton's going to win this football game. I think Davin Widener, if he comes back, I'm probably still picking Tarleton, but they need him back, and the Colton Fitzgerald just hasn't really gotten it started there for West Georgia. But you mentioned the name Tyler. Just before the broadcast at 5:30 this afternoon, I got to watch my nephew get baptized. His name is Tyler, so he's accepted Christ as his Savior, and he got baptized today, and I was so happy to be there. Super happy for him. He's a senior in high school. He is skipping college, and he's got laser focused on a trade of welding. So happy for him and my brother and his wife and their daughter and his other little son. My mom and dad got to be there to see him get baptized today. So Tyler, another name, got baptized today. It was very, very cool to see that. So just wanted to throw that out there.
He can move to Shepherdsville, Texas, and fit right in.
Well, the thing is, his mom is from Kyrgyzstan. And and so they spell his name Tylar.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
I said you're never gonna find anything for Tyler on the. Yeah. Remember the keychains? How you were excited you were when you saw your name on the keychain or the little cup at the store. Tyler.
That ain't gonna work. He gonna have a lot of people asking him a lot of questions if he stays in the South.
Yeah, but he's a Tyler. He's a Tyler through and through.
Good for him.
Good for him. And thank you, Brandon and Steve in the chat congratulating him. Yeah, he's a super, super cool kid too. I'm very happy for him. Finding his way. Hey, guess who else is finding their way? Northern Colorado. And they're going to be playing. They're going to be playing in Hornet Stadium, Sacramento, California. This is the one we talked about a little bit earlier. Northern Colorado got defeated by Sac State last year, 21-13. So different team. Although Sac State leads the series 15-2, they've won the last 6. Sacramento State, they're trying to get their offense coming together. 234 yards and 18 touchdowns on the ground, Coach. I guess you can still go on the ground, but I think that through the air is kind of where what they want to be. But they do have 7 touchdowns through the air. Cardell Williams is their quarterback, 49 for 84 with 4 interceptions, 5 touchdowns, 803 yards. He's rushed for a team-leading 7 touchdowns. The Hornets are averaging 32 points per game. Their defense features a formidable pass rush, 24 sacks, opportunistic secondary that's got 4 interceptions. Their defense is allowing just 23.8 points per game, where Northern Colorado counters with 264 yards per game, which is 14th in the country, 4th in the Big Sky. Their quarterback, Eric Gibson Jr., had a great game last year. He's been phenomenal. Their run game, a little bit more modest. Coach Lamb mentioned, got to be more consistent, get some yards on the ground. They're only allowing averaging 117 yards per game on the ground. Northern Colorado averages 24 points per game. They're probably going to need a little bit more points this weekend against Sacramento State. We'll see. Their defense is adept at turning turnovers into touchdowns. They got 5 interceptions and 3 recoveries. You mentioned they are number 1 in the Big Sky and tops in the nation, up there in the top 5 in the nation in turnover margin. On third downs, they are very, very tough against the opponent, getting them off the field. It's third downs on the offense that they've got to improve, Coach Jackson. And converting those turnovers, that's how you keep those drives alive. That's what Northern Colorado's got to do against Sacramento State. Keep the ball out of Cardell Williams' hand in that go-go offense. I think you get the pick here, Coach.
So I think Northern Colorado is a building block team. So they've gone from, winless, winning a game, winning 4 games. They got a lot of freshmen. They got experience. They're all on the same page. I think it's going to be tough. I think they're a tough out. I want to pick them.
Yeah.
If you look at your graphic, they all in suits and ties. They all look good. They all, I want to pick them. I think if they don't turn the ball over and if they get some turnovers, I think it puts a little pressure on Sacramento State. But Sacramento State's got them at home. I look for it to be a good ball game, but I got to go with the Hornets in this particular one. If Northern Colorado can get them turned over, but they're probably gonna need 2 or 3 turnovers. Then they got just as good a chance as anybody because that gives them extra possessions, shortens the game, all that. But I don't think that they quite have the horses to go with Sacramento State right now.
I'm with you 100%. The turnover battle and third downs, I think, will be whoever wins the turnover battle and can convert on third downs, that's who's going to win this football game. I mean, that kind of sounds silly to say because that's a recipe for success. But I really believe Northern Colorado is adept at forcing turnovers, not just interceptions. They knock the ball out. Ed Lamb was a linebacker, defensive end. He knows about punching that ball out and all that good stuff. Give me Northern Colorado in this one on the road. Big win for that program. It'll be their 4th win of the season after going 1-11 last year and 0-11 the year before. Really, really believing in what Ed Lamb's bringing there for this program. All right, Coach, this is how much fun we have. We've already been going 1 hour and 22 minutes, believe it or not. So, Yippee Skippy, I know. I'm sure your wife's thrilled. We're going to talk about just a few more games. We're not going to break them down with graphics. We're just going to go a little hot mess here. Western Carolina at the Citadel. Who you got?
Western Carolina.
Yeah, I'm with Western Carolina as well. Let's see the chat. Anybody got this one to pick Western Carolina and the Citadel? Anyone go with the Citadel there in the chat? Nope. All right. Abilene Christian at Southern Utah. Abilene Christian still ranked. Southern Utah, boy, they're desperate for a win. Delane Fitzgerald, that seat is getting hot over there. Although he's been in so many good games, it's that they're a Monmouth type team, except the other way. They just can't score enough points, and that their defense is letting up.
Yeah, Abilene Christian, give me the Wildcats.
Yeah, okay. By the way,
Brandon Haddock and Southern Utah.
Yeah, Brandon Haddock and Steve Hotchkiss also going with Western on that. You said Southern Utah on this one. I know you like what they do.
No. I'm going with Abilene Christian. I think Southern Utah puts up a desperate fight, but I'm going with Abilene Christian.
All right, I'm going with Southern Utah. At home, I think they're a caged animal right now. So I'm going to go Southern Utah. I don't like the pick, but I'm going to do it. And then Elon and William and Mary. This is a big CAA matchup. Elon, I don't know what to make of them, Coach. William and Mary, I don't know what to make of them, Coach.
Right.
This one is at William and Mary. Elon's offense averaging 29 points per game. I like Landon Clark. Tyler Hughes there for William and Mary. I'm going to go William and Mary on this one, Coach. At home, I'm going to go William and Mary over Elon. I don't like that pick either, but.
Yeah, I don't either. Elon's Phoenix logo, if you look at it right, it kind of looks like the Florida State logo dude done laid on his head one side. Just take that for what it's worth. You know what? I'm going to go with Elon. I like they've been on a little bit of an offensive tear. And I'm going with Elon. I'm going with Phoenix.
All right. That's our pick segment. Just for the record, want to thank you, FCS Untapped. Go follow them at FCS Untapped on social media. They put out some great stuff. He's trying to grow the brand there, and he's made picks. He has Dayton, Monmouth, ETSU, South Dakota, Tennessee Tech, UT Martin, North Dakota, Illinois State, Lamar, Duquesne, Tarleton, Northern Colorado, Western Carolina, Abilene Christian, and Elon. So pretty similar to some of these other things that we were talking about. And so he's our guest picker for the week. Week 8, Coach. 5 weeks after this weekend, and the following weekend could be dangerous. Not just for the next weekend, but for this weekend, because teams start looking ahead, and that becomes dangerous. By the way, I deliberately left this one off because I don't like putting Coach in the spot to have to make a pick. But Steve Hotchkiss says EKU over UNA. I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm not disagreeing with it. Sorry, Brandon. But I will try and make it out there to Florence, Alabama. And if I do, Brandon, I'll send you a message and maybe we can hook up. And Coach Jackson obviously will hook up as well. 4.5 hours is a little bit of a haul. If I could take a helicopter, maybe we can cut it in half.
When you said it the other day, I wasn't sure if you had done the GPS route on it, but I thought that's a haul from.
It is, I don't really realize how far Florence is deep into Alabama. I'm thinking Huntsville, but it's out there. It's out there. New Age Retro says he's worried about NDSU looking past Indiana State towards South Dakota State. Not a freaking chance.
Yeah.
Not a New Age Retro Maj, you can rest easy. North Dakota State will absolutely destroy Indiana State. Absolutely destroy them. And if they tell you what, if Indiana State, if that game isn't a touchdown or greater, I will buy you an NDSU hat of your choice and send it to you. All right? Deal?
Well.
And it's going to be Coach Jackson on credit card.
I don't think there's any way that they look past Indiana State. And look, even if they do look past them and barely beat them, they're going to smoke South Dakota State next week too.
Okay.
They're not losing. They're not losing this year. Normally, I would tell you need to lose before you get into the tournament, but for them, I don't think it matters this year.
All right. New Age, we got a deal. We got a deal. I hope you like those little hats with spinners on top. All right, listen. It's been a great show. Thank you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for Brooke Reynolds for the SID there for Northern Colorado and Coach Ed Lamb for joining us here on the podcast. We really do like highlighting these programs that are New Age says, man after my own heart. There you go. If you only knew how freaking childish I am, you'd be embarrassed. But I already lost some of my man card earlier in the year saying I put cranberry juice in my bourbon. I'm going to go ahead and tear off another corner. Coach, I was a huge G.I. Joe fan when I was a kid, right? And this was not when they were tall, big. This is when they were about the 4-inch little things. I had a couple of the big ones, the $1 million, what's that, the $6 million man. I had a couple of those things. Steve, no, thank you guys for making this so much fun. It is a real joy to have people who know and love FCS football to talk with. But my brother, whose son just got baptized, sent me a link to Amazon. Now they have these 6-inch G.I. Joe figures that are so detailed. They got guns and interchangeable hands and all kind of stuff. I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
What was your go-to toy as a kid?
See, we didn't have I live in the country, dude. We really didn't have
a ball.
Yeah, we didn't have toys. We had tools.
Okay.
So I can, my little brother, when he come along, we done gone from I guess upper lower class to lower middle class or whatever. So we had a little bit of money, and they bought him. He had plenty of toys. He had all the little He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and dude, and I was so pissed. I was so pissy about it. I would take his little men, I'd throw them everywhere and stuff like that. So anyway, they got him a Stretch Armstrong. I don't know if you're familiar with what Stretch Armstrong is.
You've told the story before, and I love it.
Dude, I snapped that joker. I had him pull that damn near all the way across the garage when my brother walked in and seen Stretch just explode in goo. That was a great day for me, and my brother was he's still pissy about it. But yeah, all I had. So I tell you this, then I'll shut up. I'm from the country. We didn't have fencing where we could keep our cows in, so everybody had a job to do when our cows got out in the roads to get them back in. I'm about 8 years old. It's my turn to start helping with the cows. And my great-granddad says, listen, Abraham, when they come to you, I want you to turn them that way. And I'm sitting there like a fool saying, yeah, I'll do that. Dude, I looked up. It looks like 2,000 cows are running straight at me.
Oh, boy.
And I did what any normal young man should have done. I got the hell out of there. I took off running. And my dad, God rest his soul, he went plumb off. He caught me in the garage. He's yelling, screaming. Dude, I'm crying. Finally, my great-granddad walked in, and I thought, thank God somebody with some sense has finally showed up. He told my dad, he said, leave him alone. And I told him, I said, Dad, I don't want to be a farmer. I told him, I said, I play baseball, and I'm good. And dude, I was crying. And he told me, he said, well, if you're going to play instead of work, you got to be good. So from that day forward, I know all the rules to all the games. If I got a video game in, I'd immediately open that joker up. I'd run to the bathroom. I'd read all the rules, and then I'd throw the damn book away. You just in tough luck trying to play me. I can play cards. I can play pool. Anything except for being a farmer is what I want it to be.
Well, that sounds about right. And how many head of cattle you have now?
Oh, none.
Exactly.
I do. Absolutely none.
Real quick, New Age mentioned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was a little bit past my time, but they've got some really cool things now. Slot cars, Steve coming in, the old school. I'm guessing those mean they weren't remote control, but the little slot went in the hole and they went around the track, and then they'd fly off as soon as you got too fast. Those were cool. I remember when we got one that went up the wall.
Dean?
Do what?
You remember Ray Dean? It was before the Transformers. He was a bigger type Transformer toy, but it was Ray Dean. He was hugely popular when my little brother was young.
Ray Dean?
Yeah. That was they're not Transformers. They're something else. But he was the leader of that particular group. Now I'll say this: I watched a lot of cartoons on television. By the time I got home, Speed Racer was on, and then that went into Speed Racer, then Spider-Man, and then Batman after that. And then after a couple of hours, it got into the live action. So the other Batman, it was really a old dude dressed up in a cape and some tights, and Robin and the Joker and all those. It wasn't a cartoon. So yeah, I had a great childhood, but no, I did not have a lot of toys, and still don't care for toys.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Is this? See if I can pull this up here. without ending the show prematurely.
Yeah.
Is this Ray Dean right there?
No, you know what? I'll find a picture.
That's an outlet.
Yeah, no.
That's what comes up. That's an outlet, Coach. I don't think Ray Dean Transformers was anything.
No, I don't like. Hey, listen, I don't care for toys, and I've told you before, I really don't care for ice cream too much.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
Well, my grandmother, single lady. Every time I throw my bags up, she told me, she said, "Listen, don't come in my house acting like that anymore."
Okay.
So the next day I did it, and she told me, she said, "Why don't you go and you want to go get some ice cream?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Okay, well, just go change your clothes." Well, I went back in, and by the time I got my clothes off, she done come in the damn room, and she done crocheted 3 Weeping Willow switches together.
Oh,
dude,
dang.
Yeah. She went plumb off on me, and we didn't get no ice cream or nothing, so I don't care for ice cream.
Well, I understand why. All right, we can sit here and talk all day long. I love the crew. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Coach, you are the best. I really do appreciate it. Brandon, Steve, New Age, Chris was in the chat earlier. Thank you guys so much for checking us out, the FCS. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the episode if you don't mind on social media. That is a big help. Really do appreciate it. We love the fans. We're trying to get new coaches on here, talk about their programs and all the good stuff, and bring you the best FCS coverage. If you have ideas, and let us know. We want to hear about it so we can improve the program and get better. Hopefully we can get Brandon back on the show here soon as he's closing on a house and getting his family settled in. We love the young man. He is an awesome friend of ours, and he will always be a part of this show. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can.
Other way, Coach. Other way. Left is right. Right is left.
A
little further.
There we go. That's Ray D. He's a Shogun warrior.
I'm going to have to check him out.
Yeah.
For this Shogun Warrior, for that Shogun Warrior, for Coach Jackson, I'm Nathan McCreary. We say so long from the FCS Checkdown. Y'all have a great week. It is week 8. See ya. Have a great weekend.